So welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Nate Woods. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach Peachtree City, Georgia. I have Tom Maune, the CEO of Peach State Custard, as my guest today. So today we're going to be talking about his business, his journey into business ownership, some challenges, best practices he has, and then share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, just make sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. So Tom, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. Please just give us a brief overview of your background and tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. Hey guys, thanks for joining on here today to share a little bit more about me. So again, I'm Tom. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I have always wanted to be in business kind of for myself, and coincidentally an opportunity came for me to get involved with my father and my brother. So we all decided we wanted to kind of get into a family business together, and you know, one thing led to another, and we ended up kind of stumbling across Andy's frozen custard. We were huge fans of Andy's growing up in St. Louis. It was our family hangout spot. It was somewhere where my friends and I would go and hang out and enjoy after a football game or after a soccer game that we had ourselves. So it really was nostalgic for me in the sense that it was where I grew up spending my time. And so the more and more I learned about the business through working in the business and being a part of the interview process with Andy's, the more and more we felt like they were the right fit for us. It's a family-run business. We sat down with Andy himself and his family. I had a chance to meet a lot of the operations people, and we always think that doing business with good people is start for anything that's going to be great. So we're really excited to be a part of the family.
Awesome. So let's set the stage for the viewers a little bit. So tell us about what is the role that you currently play in the business.
Sure. So I play the CEO role. I handle everything day to day with kind of store operations in terms of staffing and discussing with our leadership team. I have an excellent right-hand man and my brother, and also a regional manager who's been with us since we opened. And we discuss regularly staffing, any specific events that are coming up, any treat rollout campaigns that we're doing. We just started today a brand new treat called the Cannoli Thunder. So we're constantly discussing kind of new things coming up in our different markets. And another thing that has really been a big stepping stone for us in the past year has been kind of our community outreach program. So partnering with local nonprofits, with food banks, to donate a lot of what we call treat mistakes. But basically any treat that we do not hand out because it does not meet our kind of excellence for what we expect with our customer treats, we actually put a lid on it, we freeze it, and we donate it to these different shelters. And it's a really great way for us to give back to the community that we're in and we're part of. They do so much to kind of work with us. It's our chance to give back to them. So
absolutely, that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what makes Andy special. So what do you feel is unique about the business? Why do your customers choose Andy's?
So I would say probably our biggest separator is that we make all of our custard fresh at least every single hour. Our machines are custom built to our very specific standards. And we make vanilla and chocolate, as I said, every single hour the machines are on and running. So you never are dealing with a product that's going to be old. Really, it comes back to freshness for us with everything that we do. We bake brownies in house every day. Right now, as I mentioned, we have the Cannoli Thunder. We're doing peaches season and key lime pie, but soon we're going to be starting apple pie and pumpkin pie. And we bake all of those in house every single day. So that's a really big part of who we are as a company is fresh. Um,
Yes.
Additionally, I'd say our buildings are very unique. Um, we believe they're living architecture. So we have a lot of glass, and kind of our motto is we want you to see what you're getting. It's an experience. It's not just a treat. So in our drive-through, for example, we take every single order face to face. We want to have that customer interaction. Um, we don't want to just talk to you through a speaker box. We want to smile. We want to spend some time asking you questions about what you want or guiding you through our menu, because we do offer a lot of different treats. So that's really important to us.
Absolutely. So what is one thing that you wish more people knew about your business?
Uh, I think the one thing I wish people knew more of is how much we give back. Um, we've partnered with a lot of different high schools, a lot of different community churches, in a lot of different ways, whether it was helping with a food drive during the fall for Thanksgiving for families less fortunate. We ran a promotion where if you bring a can of any kind, you get your treat half off. Um, We've done other partnerships where we have been able to support some of the athletic departments that are underfunded in some of the schools that we partner with. We've partnered with Big Brother Little Sister, and these other organizations that I think are often forgotten. Um, so it's a big part of who we are, and we don't do a strong enough job kind of communicating that message. Um, we serve the people of our community. We're not just serving them treats, but we're partnering with them to better our community overall. And we think that we can continue to do that just one treat at a time.
That's awesome. So that kind of leads me into marketing a little bit. So
Sure.
marketing is obviously vital to every business out there, and oftentimes it's an area many business owners struggle with. So if you had to look at your entire marketing strategy, what do you think the one unique strategy that has brought you the most business would be?
Well, I have to tell you, I read a book here a few years ago that was focused on guerrilla marketing. Um, and to me, that means boots on the ground, getting in there and making it happen. Unlike a lot of other national QSR chains, we focus a lot of our time in our community. So that means partnering with these schools. Last fall, we had the privilege of, I think we donated over 15,000 treats to the different schools across our community. Um, and we're hoping we can surpass that goal this year. Um, so that's really what it's about. If we can get the product in people's hands, we know they're going to like it. We know they're going to want to come back and support us. And being able to work with a lot of these schools to say, hey, we support your kids and their development, whether it's academics or athletics, we want to be a part of that. And so that's definitely a key separator for us, because we just aren't spending as much time doing national advertising funds or putting money into a billboard. It's what we do locally with our community members that really separates us.
Absolutely. So we spent a good amount of time focused on the business and some of your practices for all the viewers to see. But I want to take a step back and kind of dive into your journey a bit more. So, why did you go into business for yourself as opposed to going to work for someone else?
Well, it's a great question here. One thing that I kind of realized for myself is I could not be one person that sits there and focuses on one thing every single day. Um, it's a blessing and a curse, but for me to be able to work on different things really keeps it exciting. And it keeps me engaged in a way that I just don't think I would be. For example, we were set up on Millage Avenue, South Millage for UGA Rush Week. So I was out there braving the storms, set up there with our team, and we were handing out free treats to everyone that was going through Rush Week. Um, just yesterday, I was sitting down with a developer to discuss kind of next steps for one of our new stores, and what that's going to look like. This morning, I was part of our rollout calls with our team for our new treats. Tomorrow, I'm going to be part of a different marketing campaign, and on Friday, I have some accounting and some other things like that I'm going to be working on. So I guess the excitement overall of having different areas to work on is a really exciting part for me. I would also say the having the opportunity to create impact for not just myself, but for our business. It's on a different level when it's your business. Everyone, any of our employees that reach out to me, whether it's a team member or a store manager, I always make sure to remind them that it's never about they're reaching out to me that, hey, I work for you. And so I'm here to help make you successful. If I do that, then I've done my job. So
Abs-
it's just getting the gratification of taking a 16-year-old and grooming them through leadership and understanding how to develop as a leader and a manager. We talk about it all the time in our stores how those two things are separate. But being able to see them grow into a leadership role is really rewarding.
Yeah, yeah. So as you look back at your journey, what's been a memorable roadblock or a hurdle that you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
Sure. Well, I'll say here, during COVID, we were working through a approval process for one of our store locations, and coordinating with a civil department, an architectural, a fire, a storm and sewer department. While everyone's remote, it's quite a challenge. Um, so kind of discussing back and forth with these different departments and receiving feedback on our model and what we kind of were trying to attain. Um, it was a challenge. And we had to really work with not just the different departments, but also our neighbors to get our project kind of moving forward. And it was a 2 or 3 year process for us. And it had some challenges along the way that, truthfully, as a business owner, you expect a lot of different things to happen to you, but to have COVID thrown on you and to kind of coordinate with these different departments remotely, it's just a challenge that no one foresaw happening. So
Yeah, for anyone that's ever had to deal with the permitting process, that's already not fun. But then you throw COVID on top of it. I can't imagine.
sure. And one of the things that we're a very unique building. We're not cookie cutter. We want every single store we develop to be, hey, this is the Andes in Athens. This is the Andes in Chicago. This is the Andes in Alpharetta, Georgia. So every one of them has their own spin. It's not cookie cutter by any stretch of the imagination. But the problem that we run into with that is every single zoning department has a different interpretation of the building, and elements that they like and that they don't like. And so kind of working through that with each city and getting them to understand our operations. We have such a unique store setup, even in terms of how we operate in the store, that it's just foreign to a lot of these municipalities. So
Sure, sure. So when you're thinking about the future of the business, it's always important to talk about building a great team. So how would you describe your leadership style in the business, and has it changed some over the years?
sure. Well, it certainly has. For those of you on here that are football fans, I'm a huge football fan. So oftentimes I translate what I do in business to football. But one thing that has always been a constant for me is building my bench. I always want to have a strong group of people underneath me that I can rely on. And so it starts from building that foundation. And we've spent a lot of time finding the right kind of people that are going to be successful, that can continue to grow with us. And it really starts from there. Now, as for what the future holds, it's as any good business owner would tell you, you have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to look at things from a different perspective. And, I can certainly foresee hurdles coming up in the future, and what I different moves I may have to get around them. But I need to remain flexible. That's the biggest thing, and know where my weaknesses are. It's any good business owner will tell you it. You got to be able to look at it objectively and say, okay, what am I good at and what am I not good at? I know for me personally, I'm not necessarily as good at being the public figure up there for our marketing campaigns. That's just not me. I'm a behind the scenes person. I'll be behind the camera, but don't put me in front of it. It's not my cup of tea. So, I have people that I work with that are more bubbly and outgoing than I am, and that are people that can really present well in ways that I can't. So,
Absolutely. So you talked about developing that bench and the next round of leadership. So what's been your approach to hiring and retaining team members, especially in today's economy?
in today's economy, it's challenging. It's significantly different than when we started 4 years ago. It's um, times have changed, and we, as I said earlier, we have to be willing to adapt and look at it objectively. So, one thing that has always been a constant for us is, we want to pay the best and we want to hire the best. If we do that, if I know I can take care of our employees, that they're paid well, they're treated fairly, everything else, I know they're going to take care of our customers well. Um, in terms of our business model, it has adapted some over the years in terms of what we offer and what we do to kind of create opportunities for our team. We held our kind of first leadership development seminar with all of our store managers and all of our assistant managers, and we brought in a leadership coach here this past spring, and we had classroom sessions, and we just walked through basics of an interview and what different interview cues are we giving and what are we getting today compared to what we did 3 years ago. And one thing that is important is, no matter the landscape, understanding that people are applying for a job with you. It is not that, hey, they should walk in and think that they're going to get the job. You have to ask them, well, why do you want to be a part of my team? What do you think is gonna what do you think you're bringing to the table that's going to help us become more successful? And it's almost a kind of a mentality of fake it till you make it, and getting them to understand that, hey, even if we absolutely love you, we want you to know that, hey, you need to impress us. It's more about personality these days than ever. In the past it was a lot more qualification based, but I think the person's work ethic and what they are wanting to bring to the table, and how much they're wanting to grow, I think that's a bigger factor today than it ever was.
Absolutely. Those are the things that you can't teach. That's kind of the intangibles that they have to have.
Exactly. I tell everyone all the time, I can teach you custard. Teaching you how to be a leader is completely different. And I talked about it a little bit ago, but I can teach anyone to be a manager of a store, but teaching them how to be a leader amongst people, that's completely different, and that takes a lot more time. So taking somebody with the innate leadership skills and working with them to teach them how we do things with Andy's, it's a lot different. So, and going back to it, I think one other thing that really separates us is our business model. I talked about how unique our stores are, but we have a very interactive customer experience. And it's something that our team enjoys being part of. They love actually having the face-to-face time with people and not just working through a computer screen. So it's certainly gone a long way for us. And we play to those unique features when it comes to making job listings. Here's why we're unique. Here's why we think we're better than everyone else. And a lot of those key phrases are things that people will tell us about in interviews that's why I applied. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before I get to my final question of the day, how can the viewers learn more about you or your company? How can they get in contact?
sure. I would say probably the best thing to do would either be reach out to us on the eatandys.com website. We actually have our contact information on there. If that's another option would be just to reach out to our store teams. I get inquiries all the time about, hey Tom, such person wants to reach out to you to discuss this. We have a team member right now at one of our locations who I've been giving recommendations to for books to read on entrepreneurship. So there's a bunch of different ways. Another way is reach out to us on social media. Our Instagram is andys.athens for our Athens store, and for our Atlanta stores, it's andys.atl. So those are probably the best ways. So
Perfect. Perfect. So my last question for you is, what most inspires you as you continue to move forward with the business today?
I think seeing the opportunities that we create for leaders, as I mentioned before, taking a team member and seeing them grow up to become a store manager or to become a leader at one of our other restaurants, that's one of the most rewarding things that we have. Additionally, I'll say that seeing what we are able to do with our different partners, whether it's some of the foundations that we work with directly, or some of the schools, and even just to the customer that has no relation to any of those. It's seeing them smile, and it's seeing what we're able to do to make their day. We are a very common first date spot for a lot of people. And across our 4 stores that we currently have operating here, I want to say we've had 6 or 7 different engagement proposals happen at the store. So to know that we're a big enough part to be a part of people's special day, it's incredible. We actually have a wedding that we're going to be catering to here later this year, and it's because we were one of their first date spots that really stood out to them. So
That's awesome. That's incredible. Tom, thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to learn about you and about Andy's in general. So thank you so much again.
sure. Well, thanks, Nate, and thanks guys for tuning in here. We appreciate it.